Okay, now we are going to present 10 theses on the transformation of corporate reporting, which is happening right now. These 10 trends pose new challenges for stock-listed companies and therefore should be tackled with foresight. So, our first trend is the end of the print era. Studies show that between 2009 and 2019, print runs at DAX companies fell by 94%. And to give a more recent figure, last year even 83% of all DAX companies did not print their annual reports at all. So why is that? The coronavirus pandemic further accelerated the increasing digital use of information. And to give just one example here, most of the general meetings are held either virtually or hybrid. So the classic way in which hard copies are distributed to shareholders isn't available anymore. And in order to get back to the big picture again, the ongoing digitalization leads to a reduced number of print copies. Okay, on to trend number 2. The annual report is being digitally reinvented. It is clear now that sooner or later print reports will become extinct. Today, most people already do read reports on the screen. However, many companies still design their reports in a landscape format. And in terms of usability and user-friendliness, this is a mistake. Imagine, for example, reading a PDF on your tablet or mobile phone. You will have to scroll back and forth in order to read the text properly, especially on small smartphone screens. And not to mention 2 or 3 column PDFs with a print-oriented layout. So that's why companies need to think digitally. And this is not happening at the moment because online reports are still too strongly seen and designed like a printed report. They really need to be rethought. Right now, the focus must be on preparing a report for the screen in the best way possible. Some companies have already recognized this trend and think the entire design and content concept online first. Our third trend. New stakeholders require new communication and new content. So how do we reach the under 30 generation with classic communication tools like print? Well, in fact, not at all. Because to address these stakeholders, your company and your company's KPIs need to be online. And by the way, reaching these new stakeholders is crucial because the generation of people under 30 gets more and more important for the stock market. This group is in fact the fastest growing generation of investors. These new investors want information to reach them as quickly and as compressed as possible. They very often use social media like LinkedIn or Twitter to stay up to date with financial topics. And since IR communication should take place where investors actually are, social media must be used for financial and sustainability communication. Trend number 4. Equity storytelling is gaining relevance. To reach new stakeholders, you need to tell stories that present KPIs in a simple and coherent way. It is not only the numbers that matter, but also personalities and the narrative that express credibility. Storytelling should only take place online these days. Animations, interactions, photos and videos can be used to guide users through stories. Quite in contrast to the print report. Hugo Boss, for example, built a story around the motto new. A new CEO, a new strategy and new goals provided the perfect opportunity to create new stories. Highlight texts, quotes by the CEO regarding specific topics, full-screen videos and engaging imagery, and animated key figures make for a perfect tale. In addition, equity storytelling can of course also take place in classic report sections. For example, if the business model is attractively presented as an interactive infographic. ProSiebenSat.1's Media SE highlights their 3 main business segments and how they are connected with each other in this clickable solution. Trend number 5. The annual report is individualized for its users. Actually, only 1/3 of all users of annual reports are investors and analysts. And at the same time, employees make up for a quarter and students and applicants for almost 15%. So annual reports actually do have very diverse user groups with different interests. How do I direct users to pages that satisfy their interests? As the user groups are diverse, this question is at the core of customized reporting. Intelligent search functions, intuitive topic filters, chapter-specific reading suggestions, crosslinks, interactive or maybe even animated graphics are only some of the many possibilities which help them to find the information they are interested in. Adidas uses a topics filter to cluster subjects. If you click on one topic, you can see all the pages that are related to it. Another feature that Adidas uses to guide the users through the report is a special related link solution. By asking the user a question, Adidas makes it possible for the user to directly jump to a related page. Trend number 6 is that the reporting is becoming fully automated. In future, reports will be created from one central data source. And as our CTO Gernot has much more to say about this, over to you, Gernot.
So far, some companies have already used disclosure management systems. Others, however, have prepared their reports completely manually. In the next 5 years, every large listed company will use a disclosure management system to create their reports. There is no way around it. One reason for this is the rising topic of XBRL tagging, which I'll come to in a second. Also, artificial intelligence already exists in reporting. An example of this is XBRL tagging in reports. Now there are already systems and companies testing XBRL and applying these rules learned a year later.
Thanks, Gernot. Automation also facilitates reporting. For example, it is possible to automate PDF designs. This PDF here looks as if it was created by a designer, but in fact it was generated in a fully automatic way from the online report. Not one single manual action is needed by a designer. Changes made in the online report are automatically synchronized with the PDF. Trend number 7. Reporting is becoming machine-readable. For a few years now, listed companies in Europe have had to subject their financial statements to the so-called XBRL tagging. And in that case, again, Gernot will tell you more about that.
Tagging with XBRL means making the report's content machine-readable. In this process, key figures, for example the EBIT, receives a tag, which is a unique identification reference. This allows analysts to read out these figures at the push of a button and compare them with the same data from other companies. What will the future bring? Tagging obligation will be extended. European companies will not only have to tag their financial statements, but sooner or later the entire report. The tagging obligation will not only affect financials, but also non-financial KPIs. Moreover, tagging will become mandatory, not only for stock-listed companies, but also for medium-sized companies.
On to trend number 8. Integrated reporting is experiencing a renaissance. Through the new Corporate Sustainable Reporting Directive, or in short CSRD, the push for integrated reporting will regain importance in Europe. In integrated reports, the financial and non-financial elements and KPIs are brought together. Business models and strategy are at the core of reporting with the financial data. These topics can be quite complex. Therefore, you can use interactive infographics to make the topic more accessible. DSM, for example, uses this clickable solution to present their value creation model. Remember the young stakeholders and their needs for storytelling and individualized reporting? Integrated reports could be a suitable way to satisfy all these needs. Our upper last trend, trend number 9. Non-financial information is becoming financially qualified. More and more users are interested in whether a company is really committed to environmental protection, occupational health, and safety and human rights, or whether it all is just greenwashing. In order to make non-financial topics financially quantifiable, there are statutory provisions like the EU taxonomy that introduce measuring tools. For example, figures like CAPEX and OPEX. And now our last trend, trend number 10, the information overload is on the rise. The information overload is being further increased by many different reporting standards. Especially in non-financial reporting, a real boom of new reporting standards can be observed. This means that more and more information must be included in an annual report. So as you see here, TCFD, GRI, SASB and Green Star are only some examples. More standards lead to more reporting. And this increases the relevance of customized reporting and an intelligent digital linking of reporting information even more. Okay, so these were the 10 most important trends in corporate reporting. Now we are very curious to get to know your opinion. Did they sound familiar to you? Do you agree with our thesis? What's your opinion on the current change in reporting? Let's discuss all of that together with reporting experts. I'll now quickly change to my laptop again and then we can discuss all of that together.